What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday's weekly report, and today we have the last, the regionals week. This last weekend was the final weekend of the regionals, and this time around, we actually have three different regionals to go over here. As you see, there was Fort Wayne, San Jose, and the Vancouver regionals. A lot to talk about here, and it's going to be weird because after this, our next big tournaments are cities, and depending on your area, they're either standard or expanded. It depends up to your TO. And we have a new set called Breakthrough coming out. So these results don't 100% matter, but they're still cool to go over to see what did great at these last weekend of regionals. So at Fort Wayne, we saw Frank Diaz win with Evatol. Now, actually, Frank Diaz got second last weekend at Lancaster with his Evatol deck. I got it. When that pops up again, we're gonna take a second, read it to make sure this way I can disable that. But so it's cool to see Frank Diaz get second, and then he got first place this weekend, and it was actually a really close match. If you haven't watched the match, it's going to be on Twitch. I'll leave the link down below. It's near the end, the finals match, and it was probably the craziest three-game series I've ever seen. Now, next up is Matt Price here with the Sidestone Giratina deck. Nothing really crazy here. We've seen the Sidestone Giratina a lot through these past weekends. Same with Evatol. Nothing too new here, just the kind of same old thing. Next up is Sableye Garbodor here. Now, we really haven't seen this in Masters. There was, I think before this, there was a junior who I interviewed who got top 8 at the Texas regionals, maybe top 4. I can't remember exactly right now, top of my head here. But he did actually make top 8 or top 4 with Sableye Garbodor. And you're going to notice there are a couple other Sableye Garbodors here in the top 8 of other regionals here, so it's interesting to see Sableye Garbodor making its first appearance here in Masters, which is great here. I love the deck. It's probably one of my favorites, and I'm surprised it took this long to make a top 8 appearance. Now, next up was Ross Cawthon. Now, Ross is a very great competitive player here, very well known player in the competitive scene here. He's made Worlds every year. If you don't know that, all the years they've had Worlds since 2003, Ross has participated in every single one. I'm pretty sure he's the last one that's has an invite to every year. I know Jason missed one or two, and I'm not sure who else has missed a couple. But Ross is definitely. Oh, Sammy! I think Sammy Sakums had an invite to every single one, but couldn't go last year, so I think he's had an invite to every single one. I think Ross has gone to every single one. I could be wrong, but don't quote me on that. But we see a Night March deck here. Now, once again, Night March is kind of, we haven't really seen that deck this much, but it actually makes a lot of sense here because Night March does have a great matchup against Evatol, which we saw everywhere. And against the Sidestone Giratina, if you can get it fast, Night March, you can easily knock out the Giratinas before they start using their Chaos Will, shutting out your stadiums, and if you get a lot of Night Marches, you can just one-shot a Sidestone as well. So it's not a big surprise that did so well, but I'm kind of shocked that did lose in top 4. I think he lost to Matt Price, and it's showing you how great of a player Matt Price is. Maybe that's how bad of a matchup is, but I definitely have to give credit to Matt Price because I know Ross did beat some Sidestone Giratinas throughout the weekend. Next up, it's going to be Dalen Dockery playing the Sidestone Giratina. You're going to see a theme here. And the same with Drew Kate. I think Dalen and Drew played the same exact 60 cards list. They're from the same area in Tennessee. I know them both personally here. Drew Kate is definitely a very great player. Dalen, I think it's kind of newish. I'm not 100% sure. I know Drew Kate's been around for a very long time. He's getting back into the game a little bit more here, which I'm excited about because, as you can see, Tennessee is representing here, so I'm great at that. Next up is Ryan Sablehouse. No shock here. Very competitive player. I think he's made at least top 8 out of regionals every year. I think he's actually won a regionals every year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there. But playing Best McQueen Flareon, he loves playing the Flareon decks. So no big shocker there. He decided to play that. And next up was Simon Luong playing the Phasma Queen Flareon as well. I'm not sure what they played in top 8 and what knocked him out. If I had to take a guess, it's probably Sidestone Giratina. Oh, no. Ryan lost to Ross. I know that for sure playing the Night March deck because I watched that on Twitch. Once again, if you missed it, you can go to twitch.tv/Pokemon and you can rewatch it. And also youtube.com/Pokemon. They'll eventually have it up there. Probably a couple weeks before they have it up there. But so that is Fort Wayne there. Evatol won Fort Wayne. No surprise, Evatol is very very, very great deck. Next up is San Jose. Now, San Jose is kind of a big surprise here because, as you see, there's no Evital in top 8 at all. And you're going to see a lot of decks that actually might counter Evital, and that's because California is known because of Sosa for having a lot of Evital decks, so a lot of people decided to counter the Evital decks here. And also with these Vespa Queen Flareons, I'm pretty sure they played the Jolteon as well to actually knock out the Evital players easier here. But San Jose, we had Gark Marcia, who actually, I might be wrong, but I think he won Juniors World Championship, if I remember correctly. He actually won Juniors last year. He aged up in Masters, and he actually won his regionals. I could be very wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, Gark, but I'm like 99.9% sure he won the World Championship last year in seniors, junior seniors, yeah, in seniors. So it's great to see somebody who has aged up and is already winning a regional championship here, which is great. And he actually played a Sidestone Manectric Bats deck. Now, this is actually really surprising because nobody really considered the Manectric anymore. Maybe the Giratina, but Manectric there, obviously, for the Evital matchup there, because Manectric can hit for weakness on the Evital. Sidestone's a great attacker overall, and the Zubat, Crobats, and the Golbats are there to do the extra damage with a 20 and 30. Next up is Bodhi, I'm not sure how to say his name here. He's probably going to get on to me. But he's playing the Mega Rayquaza deck. We've seen this deck actually do well at the Arizona Regionals 2 weekends ago with Xander Bennett. And I think he played a list very similar to his. I think he asked him for help, and he helped him out here. So did a little bit better than Xander, got second place. Xander got top 4. Bodhi lost to the Sidestone Manectric backs. I imagine the Manectric probably did some work to those Rayquazas there. I'm not sure how the matches went. They weren't recorded, so we don't know how those went there. We'll have to trust whatever they say. Next up is Vespa Queen Flareon, very standard deck. Now, the next deck that's actually kind of surprising here is Archestoys, because a lot of people thought this deck was dead. With Hex Maniac, Ghetsis being every deck here, the Archestoys deck was pretty much done for, it seemed like. But we see that Marshall Carey actually did make top 8 there with the Archestoys deck, showing that, maybe he does have a little bit of strength there. Maybe there's something in his deck that we don't know about to help out against the Ghetsis or the Hex Maniac. Maybe he found a way to counter it. Next up is a big surprise here, and I'm still trying to figure out if they are trolling me or not. But Groudon made 5th and 6th place here. And maybe, everybody was like, alright, we're going to play a bunch of Lightning decks to counter the Evital decks that are going to be big in San Jose. And we're going to play Groudon to actually beat those Lightning decks. I imagine they played like the Regirock. The biggest deck you have to worry about, though, of course, is the Vespa Queen deck, and we see that there was one in 3rd. They did lose in top 8, both of them did, so one of them lost to, I don't know, probably the Vespa Queen, and the other one probably lost. Sidestone Manectric backs can give you a run for your money. Mega Rayquaza can give you a run for your money. The only one that maybe Archestoys can beat the Groudon. I'm not sure how that matchup goes. I guess the Keldeo could overrun the Groudon there. But we see that Joe and Dallin fell. They both, lost in top 8 to, I'm not sure who they played against there. But still, big surprise there that we saw the Groudon make top 8 there. Everybody thought that the deck was dead, especially the people who kind of piloted all last year have not been touching it because they're like, alright, this is a bad deck. Blah, 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 but they proved it wrong, showing that Groudon still has some strength in the expanded tournament here, so it's great to see that. And then next up, we see that Donphan made 7th and 8th place here. Now, I know that Chris Collins did play a Jolteon in his Donphan deck to make the Donphan a Lightning-type Pokemon to help out against the Evital matchups there. Now, Donphan, I think, is still a really strong deck. I'm not sure why a lot of people weren't playing it. It's a 1-energy attacker that can do a lot of damage. You got the Silver Bangles, you got the Fighting Stadiums, you got the Strong Energies. The only big problem the deck really had at Worlds is Sidestone Bats, and, that deck's not really existing anymore. Usually when you see Sidestone, you see Giratina, and not Bats, so it's not a big shocker to me that Donphan did well at the tournament there, but we see that Chris and Justin both, sorry about that, got lost in top 8 there, so all the cool fighting decks lost in top 8. I'm not sure what they played against. Maybe they'll say down below in the comments what they lost to there. But either way, big shout outs, big round of applause to those guys for making top 8 with Groudon and Donphan. That's pretty cool here. Now, next up is Vancouver here. Now, next up is going to be Jonathan Perenata. And once again, it is somebody who actually got second at Regionals 2 weekends ago in Arizona. Trying to remember what Jonathan played. He definitely didn't play Tyrantrum. He played something else. I'm going to kick myself because I can't remember off the top of my head here. But it's very interesting to see that these different, like, even though they're the same weekend, each area had their own kind of thing here. Jonathan played the Tyrantrum Bronzong deck we've showcased before. It swings for 190 with a Muscle Band 210. Very strong deck, and with the Bronzongs, you can constantly just reload Tyrantrums over and over again, consistently hit the 210s, 190s, whatever you need to knock out Pokemon. Next up was Hayden, and he actually played the Saiso Genesect deck. Now, this is a deck that was actually kind of piloted by Japan at Worlds, and we see that slowly making its way over to America here. And the cool thing about this is I started, obviously for the Quake Punch, but Genesect here, you can use it for the Megalo Cannon, you can Rest Signal, bring up somebody, attach a G-Booster to it to do 200 damage. It's a very great card here that a lot of people haven't been testing with, and we see that Hayden, it did make, did fairly well with it, made second place, losing to the Tyrantrum deck. I'm pretty sure that's just a horrible matchup. I don't know, I'm pretty sure Hayden got 2-0 there. I don't see how the Saiso Genesect deck has any shot against the Tyrantrum unless JP started the Bronzor pass and Hayden's alright, Toad Laser Muscle Band. Imagine Hayden played, or Jonathan played the 70 HP Bronzong, so he'd need the full combo of DC, Laser, Muscle Band, Verbank, all that stuff. And I think Hayden actually didn't even play with Verbanks. I think if I heard a rumor, he got his Verbanks taken out or his Sound Labs taken out. I'm pretty sure his Verbanks got taken out. So there we go. But still, shout out to Hayden for making top 2 with this deck. It's a pretty creative deck there. Next up was Alex Coach. We actually did an interview with him. If you haven't seen it, check out the video yesterday. You can see his Sableye Garbodor deck and learn everything about his support there. Not going to go into big of a deal about that. Next up is Joey Gaffney here playing the Vespa Queen Flareon. I imagine he played the Jolteon as well to help out against the Evotal decks. Sableye Garb here. I'm pretty sure Jeffrey and Alex played no, they didn't play a similar list. I know that Jeffrey played no Trainer's Mail and Team Aqua Secret Base and maybe Blends and Virizions. I think that was Jeffrey's list, or that was Nick Robertson's list. I see there is 3 Saiso Garb decks that made cut, while as the other weeks there wasn't a single Sableye Garbodor in Masters Cut. So very cool to see those finally making cut here. Once again, another Tyrantrum here by Paul Johnston. Very, very consistent player here. I'm pretty sure he won states last year with the Tyrantrum, not Tyrantrum, with Bronzong. And it's always cool because Northwest region is always big on Bronzong there. Let's see, how do we... Okay, there we go. I got rid of it. Don't worry, guys. But we see that always Northwest is playing Bronzong. Last year, they always piloted Bronzong. Nobody else is really playing it. And we see that once again up in Vancouver. They are playing the Bronzong decks. Once again, I guess they love their Metal Pokemon here. But I know Paul and Jonathan did play the same exact 60 cards list. I'm 99% sure once again on that. I heard the rumors that they did. It wouldn't surprise me. They are from the same area, so if they are playing the same 60 cards deck, it would be pretty cool there. But we see that JP did get first, and he did get second, like I said, in Arizona 2 weekends ago. So he's easily up to, he's got his Worlds invite, because I know he got top Day 2 invite, and I think the same thing with Frank Diaz. I think he has his invite as well. I think he had a top 2 invite, so that's guaranteed. If the invite is 300, they both already have their invites there, and they'd be the first people without World Points to get. Well, I mean, with World Points, you still have Jacob Van Wagner and everything. But whatever, I guess with the regional points, they're the first people to get their Worlds invite, which is pretty exciting there. Next up is Serena Radu, whatever you want to call her. Good friend of mine. We've seen her on the show a bunch of times here. Pokemon Crush Serena goes here. She did play the Evital deck. If I heard the rumors correctly, she played the same list as Brad Curcio did. And Houston, she might have changed a couple cards there, but I know she got the list from Brad, who helped her out there. Team Beanie, they know what I'm talking about here. But Evital, once again, just a very consistent deck here. But we only see that it only made 2 spots in this weekend. First place and at 7th place. So, but still, Evital's showing his strength here. And the next up was Manectric Regice Wobbuffet. And it's a very interesting deck here. I'm pretty sure... Okay, so last weekend when we did the Manectrics, we really didn't know anything about them. But this is the list, and I'm pretty sure this is like they're close to the list because when Pokemon released their top 8 list, I saw that a lot of them were playing the Manectric Wobbuffet decks. Wobbuffet to shut down, the abilities early game while you load up a Manectric, and then you can load up a Regice with the Resistance Blizzard, which Resistance Desert is a better attack there, but that's another day here. Manectric make a cut. Because of all the Evital hype, of course, Evital is always a great deck, and a lot of people were still considering for the 3rd weekend there. And there we go. This wraps up the 3rd weekend of the regionals. After this, we have the cities coming up. Well, no, first we have pre-releases of Breakthrough. So next weekend we will actually do a set review of the Breakthrough because hopefully by then all the cards will be revealed. Pre-releases are going this weekend, so make sure you go out and support your local leagues. Go to your pre-releases and make sure you get those cards there. Hopefully have some great pulls. Get those break cards, maybe those Mewtwo's, whatever you need. Hopefully you pulled them. May the pools be in your favor. But hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed these regionals this past 3 weekends. I know I have more interviews coming out talking about the regionals experience, so look out for those as well. I do have an interview with Gark, who did get first at San Jose. I got one with Hayden coming out. I got one with Bodie. I got one with Drew Kate. I got one with Matt Price. I got one with Nick Robinson. I got so many coming out here, so make sure you watch out for those. It'll be very exciting here. And I got one with Serena as well. We had to get Serena in here. I think she was the only girl that made cut, so shout out to Serena Girl Power. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great Wednesday. We'll see you next weekend in the Wednesday Speaker Report. And I'm like 99.9% sure it'll be talking about the break set. And then after that, we'll start reviewing other stuff. Maybe some new Japanese cards that are coming out. Maybe some new merchandise. Like right now, the Build-A-Bear Workshop, I know, just released an announcement saying that Pokemon will be in there. Like Pikachu will be a Build-A-Bear. You can actually get there. I know I'm going to go to my local Build-A-Bear and get a Pikachu when it's released next year. So hopefully in 2 weeks we'll talk about some cool stuff like that. But hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Look out for Thursday, for Expanded Thursday. It's going to be a very confusing deck there. But thanks for watching once again. Have a great day. Alrighty.